So I would love to introduce Alice in Wonderland and Chris Mansfield. Manfield.
Yeah, no S.
So they have stepped in with our Freebox art installation, and I'm going to let them give you all the amazing juiciness, dynamic details of that. But I came to talk just a little bit about the Crestone Freebox. How many of you have used the Freebox? Woo! How many of you have dropped stuff off there? Woo! How many of you picked stuff up there? Woo! So the Freebox is this magic gem treasure, and it was closed because of COVID, and no one wanted to take it on. So we, as an extension of the Energy Fair, we have started a group. This was Donovan Spitzman, Nick Navarez, and myself. It's a private partnership so we can really catalyze community projects to keep moving and not get stuck with red tape and bureaucracy when we see needs in the community that need to start happening now. So we started the Crestone Energy Exchange. So you might see the Energy Fair, Energy Exchange, because we wanted to play on that this is about an exchange of energy with all of these things that we do. So we just got the Freebox opened on Earth Day this year after 2 years of being closed. Woohoo! So we want to thank the town of Crestone for that. They were really crucial in helping us get that piece rolling. Lonnie Roth at Crestone Creative Trade. Give Lonnie a big round because he's hosting that private property and he's been doing that for years. And then our Energy Exchange. Now we have our own Freebox group, and Laura Enzer started our Facebook page. So you can find any information about that group at crestoneenergyexchange.org. It's just an offshoot of this group. But I'm going to pass it up to our lovely artist installations because Chris I have just met, an amazing artist, and from what I'm reading of you and coming to our meetings and these ideas, I'm really thankful and grateful to be working with you. And Allison, I've known for years here, and just her expertise in weaving and this, like, all of the layers of what it takes in community. I learned from her with this Dragon and Fairy Festival that we did for years. And it taught me so much about the stages of how we live from being little. We had the first little baby fairies, and I was not really around. And then the second year we had they were a little more grown-up fairy children, right? And at the time I was running the youth program, so then I said, this year it's going to be for the teen fairies. So we did a dragon, slayer, and dragon motif, where you have to slay your own dragons, right? We have to have that mirror, and we have to hold it up to each other for learning. So this woman is just amazing and so creative with how she teaches us. But today is about the Freebox, so you want to take it away?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. Nick, yeah, oh, thank you. And Lydia and everyone that has kept this Crestone Energy Fair going for 33 years. 33 years, that is something. It is a heartbeat. Beautiful to be here. Going to begin, and I'm going to pass this to you, by taking a quick moment, but a long and full moment, to take this breath in and out with honor and respect for ourselves, each other, and the land of which we live.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Before I begin talking about the art installation, I just want to say that we are currently here coming together today celebrating this beautiful event on the land that has been caretaken for a very, very long time by the Capote Ute. And this was a land, and it still is a land of spiritual pilgrimage. And so I just want to remind us to keep that in mind when we're celebrating the energy of this place and the energy of each other. So this year for the Energy Fair art installation, our piece is called Out of the Fault, and you can see the piece kind of behind right there, the center of those 5 trees by the art gallery. And so it's titled Out of the Fault, and the fault within the context of this art space can mean many things. The fault can mean the failure to perform a task or to fulfill an obligation. And the vault, in the context of this work, can also mean a storage space or safe, And it can also mean mistakes, imperfection, or fracture in the continuity of the Earth's rock formation. And perhaps one of the most famous fault in the world is the Mariana Trench. And this is the deepest known point of the ocean. And after about 30 years and 5,000 dives to gather images and video footage to resurface what might lurk within the depth of our ocean, researchers have found that at the astonishing depth of 36,000 feet under sea level, they found a plastic grocery bag. But we don't have to really dive so deep or that deep to recognize and be present to begin to have a conversation regarding the discourse of trash and waste management. So let's scale down this thought to something a little closer to our community, which Lisa brought earlier, is the free box. And we're specifically also working with the free box dumpster, which is technically the dumpster that the stuff from the free box ends up in when the free box gets way too full. So yeah, I'm not sure if any one of you have, I'm sure if some of you have checked out the Labyrinth, but I was wondering if anyone can guess how long it take for us to source the materials from the free box dumpster for the installation.
I guess.
Anyone? No? Guy with the hat? 1 hour? No, it's so this meditation labyrinth is constructed using approximately a week's worth of trash from our community free box dumpster that would have otherwise gone to the Saguache landfill every week. That amount of trash goes from the free box dumpster alone to the Saguache landfill from our community every week. And so we wanted to honor this land and bring attention to our relationship with it. And the land at the center of the labyrinth has been exchanged with land from the Saguache landfill in a ceremony. So we took out a chunk of the land from the park, brought it over to the Saguache landfill. We dug out a hole there as well, put our land here, and the land that was dug out from the Saguache landfill, then we brought over here and center it at the center of the labyrinth. And yeah, so as you navigate yourself towards the center of this labyrinth, please take your time to be present with our trash and consider where they're coming from, where they came from, where they're going, and where they are now. And yeah, feel free to take and leave something from this installation if you so desire. And I just want to say that the free box, to me, seems to have provided objects with, and trashes with a lot of second chances. And it's really an interesting and beautiful thing. And when you recognize that it is also a place where it have also in the past provided some people with second chances as well. Mm-hmm. So let's take care of this space together. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. It's been an honor and an adventure working with you, getting to know you, particularly through this process. And I'm noticing the butterflies on your hat. So beautiful of what you've made. And it's reminding me of the transformation. I think of butterfly particularly as that, the way in which they're so beautiful. They have levity, right? They're light with levity. And yet they're doing a lot of work. Butterflies and all of the pollinating insects and all of that. There's always stuff going on. And so when we started connecting, we weren't sure. I mean, it could have been anything that we did for this Energy Fair installation. And right, we were just cooking it up and saying, hey, I want to get to know each other. What's moving us? And then we were looking at, okay, the Crestone Energy Fair theme, what's that? Okay, reclaim, self, village, nature. All right, what's in there? And we got to trash pretty quickly. And I'm thinking, what's trash, right? Can I even open to that? Anyone that's here in this little bit of a conversation, taking just a moment here, what is trash? Anyone have anything they want to just toss out? There's no right answers, by the way. But anyone got anything when I say, what's trash? Oh, don't be shy. Well, you can't be shy. I'm shy. But you got something?
It's a trick question.
Oh, hey, you got it. You got it. Right. Anyone else want to say anything about it? Anything in your hearts to say? What is trash? Or even sharing, you can be, yeah, go ahead. Trash is something you no longer expect? Respect. Trash is something you no longer respect. I'm taking this in. Yeah, so that's the open question. And that's where we got to, is we're in the question of it with you. And we have already had the beginnings of so many beautiful ongoing conversations about that. So in this moment, I'm going to be sharing, again, back to the free box. I got my notes here so I don't forget. Shout outs. So we have, with that free box, so Lisa Bodie and the others, there is that free box volunteer connection. I think there's a few ways to find out about that, but a simple one is just go to the free box. I think there's some info right there. It's great. It's a village, right? That's how we do it. Like Chris said, it's providing, the free box is providing for us, always, right? And then there's also Mary Lowers. I just bumped into her today. I always shout out to Mary Lowers. Thank you so much, sweet love, for all you do. And one thing she shared is free box crafting is coming soon. So some of the stuff you see there, Chris, was there a lot of clothes going on there?
Yeah, there's a lot of clothes. Most of the stuff are clothes and shoes and wearables.
Yep. So some of that is going to get crafted. So here we go. And any ideas you guys have, especially if you're bringing some energy and some manifestation to those ideas, we welcome them. And then there's a free box fashion show, part of this energy fair. I think it's tomorrow. I think it's around 12:30 tomorrow. So those are some of the things. I wonder how long we have up here. So if anyone wants to give to the side, but we're just going to keep on talking until we have it. Out of the fault, Chris, you had talked a little bit about that, but would you like to say just a little bit more about that particular part, about out of the fault? Okay. I'm gonna ask. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. During our dialogue a bit, the thing that when we said trash, I was like, man, that's too heavy, too much. I want to do something fun. I've been back to the butterflies and the levity, and let's just do something pretty and fun. But I stayed with it, and then I thought, okay, you know what? I can find that levity, and I only can rise up as deep as I can ground. So I got myself fully there, present, and tapped into that infinite life force. You feeling that a little bit? I don't know. I do. It's here. It's now. And from that place, I felt, okay, I have a capacity to start facing some of the things that are hard. I don't want to face that trash, but this is what's happening because I don't want to. And right, we were talking about this. So we were getting to a place, okay, now we have a little more capacity. And I truly do find, not just believe, but I have found it so, that when I first connect in that deep way more than I have all myself, separate, connected, got that infinite life force, I got the capacity. It is so helpful to start facing some of the stuff. And then things come up, they bubble up, they get round, they change. Transformation, levity happens. So from that, we got out of the fault. And I heard, Mariana's trench, and that had come into us. I mean, that's a moment. That took a lot of me getting into that place of, oh, mama, sweet daddy, help me right now, because that's so hard every day when I know that in the deepest part of the most beautiful aspects of our world, our human relationship with that world, we have impacted. with what was that? Trash is that aspect of which we have lost respect. Right? We've lost our accountability. We've lost track of our impact. It's affecting every little bit. All those microplastics, right? All that boom, boom. And now all of a sudden, boom, I'm just too heavy, I can't deal. So move it around. So we thought about a labyrinth, because with a labyrinth, you can't get lost. There's space to move into. Right? So that's part of what it was. And then the fault part, so that's the space. That's a fault. The fault is deep. It's a space. Right? And from that place, I also thought about, oh, is that funny, that fault? Fault, guilt, shame. I'm collapsing. I can't do anything from there. From the way I related to fault, guilt, shame, shadow. I'm not going to face that. I'm going to pretend it's not there. Well, when you start to open it up, especially when we connect together, we can start facing some of that stuff, that unaddressed stuff that we were ashamed of, and it changes, it moves. So that was that kind of fun thing about the fault, the guilt, well, let's be accountable. How do we do that? We find each other, we get connected. I mean, actually, I don't know, but these are the things that I'm exploring. You want to start working off of something else here?
Yeah, I was just like talking a little bit about the commodification of trash.
Okay, all right. So we're going to get into the product and trash stream. And yeah, here you go.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, a big part of our intention is to honor the landfill, right? Because it's a space, it's land that have, in a way, been commodified to take in the things that we don't want anymore and the things that we don't know where to put, and that it's interesting to think that there is commodification that are around these things, that someone would take some resources in exchange to take the things that we don't want, and then they have to then figure out, as we're navigating through this project, also we have to figure out permissions on how to get the land from the landfill, and how to talk about how to get essentially dumpster material. And there's that issue that's been brought up also about like dumpstering and whose trash is it anyway, and who owns the trash, and it brings us back into also the discourse and thinking about who owns the things around us, and if you can really own trash, or if you can really own the land. So yeah, I just want to coin that so that we can keep that in mind as well, to think about all those things and I think that the reason we make art is oftentimes because we don't have the answer, and that it's more of an invitation to think about the discourse together and start conversations and be present with the issues, because it's something that apparently we can't really answer at the moment. So we try to bring people together to just be present first with it.
Cool. I want to, this is what I'm going to reflect what I just heard you say, Chris, is something about why we make art. I mean, why do we make art? Does anyone know? What the heck? What? Art? What were you saying about that?
Well, I personally make art because life is more important than art.
Say it again.
I make art because life is more important than art.
What? And I don't know as my answer, but I can't not. So that's what that's what I'm left with every day is, life, art. I don't have a difference there. I don't know why and how, but there is something about the question. When I was in art school, I had a devastating critique that has lasted my lifetime in the most beautiful of ways. And the critique was, you're not asking any questions, Allison. This work is not appealing to us because it's like propaganda. You just had an idea, you put a period on the end of that. That was your answer, and you just put it out. No, I'm not interested. I got nothing. So I started to really explore that, and it's opened up every day of the question. And in this case, this so out of the fault over there, that labyrinth, the questions that are coming out and the dialogues and things I would have never even expected, both in the content, things we're talking about, trash, but also like the aesthetic, or like, hey, can I move through this space? Can I touch that? What's this? Yeah, and of all ages, I gotta just say thank you so much for the kids, all the kids that were there yesterday, particularly while we were doing stuff. You guys have taught me so much, asking questions, bringing in. We had a butterfly. I'm serious. Did you see that? And a snake. What's that about? I don't know, but it invigorated the space. And are there rules? Can I, we started to move into the space. Can I touch this? Hey, what's that? Those are the things that we're talking about. Our trash, we're facing it together, but with this levity, this question, it opens it up. Just stopping for a moment and listening. I love these sounds in our beautiful town. It's beautiful. This is us. You can hear a little bit of the trees in the wind, slightly quiet. And all the buzz. It's a beautiful day. All right. Well, I'm here and Chris is here, and we're just talking away until it's time for the next. But I thought I'd just read. This is, by the way, something I want to just say to you, Chris, is I so appreciate again getting to know you, and particularly how you articulate and how you write things up. So as we were, working things out, we would be taking notes, and he would write this stuff up. So I'm going to reflect this back of something that you wrote up. This is on the website for Crestone Energy Fair about our installation. And this was before we really knew what it was going to look like. Reclaiming art installation. We want to make something that encourages our community to come together to reclaim the collective responsibility of finding salience with one another and the everlasting presence of these things that we choose to discard. We seek to open a portal between our community and the final resting place for our trash. Be it the Swatch landfill, or perhaps metaphoric dump, or a fault, or the nooks and crannies in between our interwoven livelihoods, the ever-circulating ether in which we breathe out of. Yeah. You want to say anything about that beginning? Yeah? Okay. Are we all set? Okay. All right. And we got an announcement. Someone has lost their keys. It's a Honda. It has 2 post office keys on it. It could be brought to the voter registration booth back there. It's a blue tent. Okay, all right. House music, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna just give one more moment. I mean, we're just kind of warming up, yeah. But before we put on that house music, anything that's coming up, and this is a time, this is a shared time, anything that anyone wants to share, or a question about the work itself, or anything that's on your mind and heart. Ah, can you hear that? She's brought some stuff to donate, not sure she wants to let it go. Oh, all right, all right. All right, things are gonna get really interesting now. All right, thanks so much. Thank you.
I just also want to thank you all the volunteers that have put so much time to the installation of this artwork. I really appreciate it. And when you're working to move a big pile of trash somewhere, it gets pretty old pretty fast. Even though it gets pretty fun. So without the volunteers, we wouldn't have been able to do it, and it's so difficult. But thank you.
Thanks so much to Allison and Chris. Really appreciate all the work that you've done, and it's really important, and I love how we're bringing this into the Energy Fair this year for sure. So thanks so much for all your insight too on how we're using our energy and the avoidance and getting involved. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Everybody give a round of hand for the art installation folks and everyone who's been volunteering. We really appreciate you. Got to do something with that garbage, right?